Hello, one and all, and welcome to Luscious Lads Debate Hour. Today,
Hello.
we have quite an interesting stream going on, something a bit different than usual. We're going to be debating some game theory.
Game theory.
Because that's a game theory! Thanks
Yeah,
for
that's it.
watching, stream over. No, so this one's going to be about the Gears of War franchise. Now, I'm going to be the medium in this. I'm going to be between these two fine lads.
But you're going to speak to the ghosts?
Stop. The medium.
Yes. We have Harry here with us.
Yes,
Hammer.
we do. You might recognise me from the
Recognise
Port
you.
playthrough
That's
and
the
the
only
Minecraft
thing.
playthrough. The
Oh, yeah.
little anime girl.
Enemy.
And then we have Reese.
You may recognise me from Sloth the Gamer 12. You may also recognise me from literally anything from the YouTube channel.
Yep.
And it's
He also has a peanut butter brand, but we'll talk about that later.
yeah,
Um,
of course. I did sponsor this stream.
So, if I swap to our main
Reese's
menu.
Pieces. Please sponsor.
Sponsor.
So, we're going to start with a bit of an introduction between you guys. This is going to be about the Gears franchise as a whole, but we'll kind of tackle it in different sections. I know you guys want to talk about Judgment and 4 and just things individually.
Nope.
Someone has the
Yeah.
stream on.
That would be
That was me.
Reese.
So, if we would start with a quick introduction of
I'll let Reese take the first point on this.
So we'll go from kind of how you know the series, where you got started with it, what was the first game you played, and
Of course, yes.
the general history you have with it. I'll give you 6 minutes.
6 minutes, okay.
Yeah, watch me get like 2.
Go. Oh, it's cut off.
Run! There we go. I'll just see the stream now.
Cut off. Fuck.
Oh,
All right,
for
talk.
fuck's sake.
You've got less time now. Go.
Oh fuck! All right. Favorite game. 3. I guess. Yeah, 3. 3. Just favorite story moment. Dom's death. Oh, that's a bit bad, isn't it? I've got 41 seconds apparently. Run.
No,
fucking
there's
run.
like Reese. If you can't see, it says minutes at the edge. You just can't see the amount of minutes that are there.
Oh
text-
right.
It's just not big
So
enough.
if you want to start, do you want me to start the timer again?
Yeah. That'd be
Yeah,
great.
start him off again because we all know how special Reese is.
All right, let's
I
go.
literally
Well, I
thinking
mean, the
21
audience doesn't,
seconds.
but-
Oh, fuck off. Alright, cool. So I've got 6 minutes to slowly talk about everything. Honestly, the first Gears of War is going to be special to me because this was probably the first game that I've properly played on the 360. Mainly because I kind of stole it off my dad's, because my dad had it first and I kind of nicked it off him.
Good job.
And shit, if he's listening to this, yeah, it's us, mate.
Choice, Paul.
No,
No,
but yeah, honestly, it was really special to me. I think I played the second one before I played the first one, annoyingly, because I don't know, it appealed to me more than anything else. But honestly, it's got a special place in my heart. First 360 game and all that other stuff. I played through all of them. So, more importantly, I've played through the worst ones, Judgment. And more importantly...
no, save that. Save that.
I'll save that later. But yeah, I've had so many good highlights with it. I think Harry will go into more detail. We'll go into more detail later, but there are so many good things about the trilogy. I personally really enjoyed 4 and 5. I'm even enjoying at the moment Tactics, a spin-off game that really does deserve to be talked about at a later date, of course.
Yeah, we won't go into tactics today because it's a bit out of discussion for what we're doing
course.
here.
Yeah, of course.
Because Reese is
more
the
of a
only fucker
spin-off.
that's played it.
Yeah, well, I've not even completed it, so you know. But honestly, it's Gears of War has truly been a fantastic series, in my opinion. Now, If we're going to talk about ranking system, we've got to go it like this, okay? We're going to start with at number
Right, start
one.
at the bottom.
Oh, starting from the bottom.
Yeah.
Judgment.
Go
start
bottom
with
go worst to best, in your opinion.
All right. Worst is Judgment, for obvious reasons. We'll talk about later on.
Yeah,
Then
just a
it
quick one,
goes.
yeah.
Then it goes. In my personal opinion, and this is maybe a hot take, but 1. And then it goes 4. Then it goes 2. Then it goes 3. And number 1, 5.
Oh, Rich has got some juicy takes on that.
Now that is some juicy ass takes right there.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're not like with the community in your rank.
No,
Especially like your
no,
top
no.
one, like your top one. I'm surprised at.
Well, I honestly think it.
Hey, we can discuss this bit soon.
Yeah, we'll discuss this later.
Oh
But
yeah,
Just a general
100%.
outline.
I just wanted to say that I'm actually quite surprised at it. That's all.
But yeah, it's really surprising to me that it's done so well. But yeah, I think is that everything in the introduction?
Um,
Um,
I don't think we've missed anything. I mean,
Yeah,
you,
no, yeah.
Harry, do you feel that's a good enough basis to
Yeah,
kind of go on?
yeah, I think that gives us a really good understanding of what Reese is like with this series as a whole.
We'll get into more like detail later on, of course. But yeah, that's pretty much it, isn't it?
Okay, cool. So, if I reset the timer, what I'll do is I'll give you 5 minutes because this hasn't taken as long as we thought.
Yeah,
That's fine.
obviously.
I probably wouldn't even need that. I'll be
So
honest
go,
with you.
Harry. Tell us.
Okay, alright. So, I'll start off. So, I have played 1 through to 4. I've played. The only one I haven't touched is 5, so I can't rank that at all. So, my series experience started when I was quite young, actually, and somebody we knew said to me and my brother, "Hey, why don't you try these?" and handed us the limited edition boxes for Gears of War 1 and 2. So I played
Ooh.
them in release order. I played 1, 2, 3, Judgment, and then eventually got round to 4 because I didn't have an Xbox One for quite some time.
True.
So playing them in that order, you kind of get a really good understanding. I even played the Ultimate Edition, but we're kind of gonna link that in with 1.
But I think
so
we've
that's
both
fine.
played the Ultimate Edition. I played it a bit later with Game
Yeah,
Pass
no,
and all that other stuff.
I've got some spiciness for that game.
Do you guys think you would rank the
Spicy.
Ultimate? If you had to rank all
no,
the games as well as Ultimate, do you think it would be like identical pretty much to 1 then?
Yeah, Ultimate and 1 sit in the same placing for me because
Yeah. Same.
like the only thing that really changed between the 2 games is Ultimate Edition had weapon skins. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's like the
updated graphics, of
only
course.
major difference. No, because like even without the graphics tool, it's like if you take that away, it's the exact same game with
Oh,
weapon
yeah.
skins.
Yeah.
The maps are the
easily.
same. The way the character style, like multiplayer style, is the same. The story is the exact fucking same. The cog tag
Yep.
locations are in the same location. So if you've played
Spot
1, you've already played Ultimate Edition.
Yep.
Just without decent graphics, but graphics don't make a game good or bad.
But it
So-
has Ultimate in
no,
the
it
name,
doesn't.
so it's superior, obviously.
Yes.
Oh yeah, obviously.
My favorite moment in the entire series. So we were actually kind of trying to get an understanding of what we wanted to do for this intro. So we weren't sure. Well, I personally wasn't sure what to go with. If like we were going to cutscene favorite moment or just like gameplay wise favorite moment. And we said either or. So I've got to go Gears of War 2, the chainsaw battle with Scourge near the end of the game.
Oh.
That fight for so long. And before I had Xbox Live, I actually had an account called Scourge. I loved that fight so much.
Now I
and
didn't
then
see that coming.
as for my series ranking, right, I cannot rank 5, haven't touched it, so that is instantly in the bottom of the tier list for games I have not played. And then it's 4. And then we get 1 and Ultimate Edition in the kind of same bracket. Then it's 2, then Judgment, and then 3. And I don't think people can argue that 3 is the best game, other than apparently the other person here. But otherwise, that is my series introduction, really.
All right, cool. So, I think how we can kind of go about this next bit is, Harry, you feel like you've like the new Gears games has kind of detracted from the franchise,
Yeah.
and Reese thinks the opposite. Reese, would you say you think it's added greatly to the franchise?
Of course, but I think personally that 4 and 5 are excellent sequels.
So
versus what Harry thinks.
Okay, so I think we title this Round 1.
Yeah.
Round 1.
Reese, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to kind of just talk about what you think 4 and 5 have added to the franchise. I'd say maybe stick a little bit more to 4, as
oh yeah, of course.
I think that's where the big turning point happened. You know, with developers changing, and also it's more of a point of discussion today.
Of course, and I've got a few facts behind me on this one, sort of thing.
All right, Reese, you're up.
Right. Obviously, I'm going to be a lot more logical about this for this one. I've got a few facts surrounding it. With the meta score, of course, we're going to talk more about Judgment later and why I dislike it. But if we're talking about this logically, the Metacritic score for Gears of War 4 was a lot more higher for the Gears of War Judgment. Okay. Personally, for me, I really enjoyed the story.
Wait, hold on, just real quick. You can't just say great. Are you like, if you're gonna go by fact, can you please like actually fact it, like the actual scores?
Right, the Gears of War Judgment when it's first released.
In all fairness, I can turn around and go.
One thing I'm just gonna say.
Yeah,
I've got such a bad score. Like, I just wanted to say that real quick. I know it's not my turn. No. If he's gonna go with fact, can we please have the full fact?
Regardless of what he says, you can't talk during his sections, and he can't talk during your sections. When you're coming up with points.
I fully understand that. I just really needed to get that out there. Because you can't go saying that he's going to be using fact and then like state half a fact.
So in this case, I'm Joe Biden in this case, and he's like Donald Trump.
Yeah, that seems accurate.
Biden.
Yeah, right.
Alright, I'm going to resume the timer.
Cool. Okay, yeah. Basically, well, if like I said, Harry, if we're gonna do it like that, Judgment got a Metacritic score of 79. Okay, it's a good. It's don't get me wrong, it's a good score, and I'm not denying that it's it has some good parts about it. But then you compare it to Gears of War 4, which has a Metacritic score of 83. I personally believe that it maybe should have got a little bit higher, but I do understand some of the criticism of 4, which was it played a little bit too safe. And I understand that, and all the other things. Now, there's a second fact that I want to implement into this, which was the fact that Gears of War 4 did sell a lot of units. Units, in this case, can be quantified as like game copies and everything like that. It sold a lot more digitally because we are in the digital age. For example, physical did decline slightly, but I think we can all agree here that I think over the last couple of years, this is a completely different debate. And if you do any sort of game design, you get this topic all the fucking time. It's stupid that physical stores have gone down. But more importantly, going back to the topic, Gears of War 4 has a really good story. And if you look at the story alone for Gears of War 4, and I won't go on too much about 5 because some.
Did his internet die? I'm gonna pause it.
No, I think his mic might have died. His controller might have died. But he's not.
Are you there, Reese?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry. My mic. I didn't control. I didn't use my. With all my sticks.
Just play with your sticks.
Yeah, basically. So
Resume.
what happened? Where did I leave off quickly? What was the last thing you
The
heard?
part you talked about gears. You were
All
talking
right,
about
yeah.
physical and
Yeah, all right. So basically, before I was rudely interrupted by my controller dying, um, of course, we in Gears 4 basically we learn the whole point of the story is learning not just about the evolution of the Locust Horde, but we also learn a lot of new characters. Of course, this is a new age of Gears, so we learn about the characters such as the son of JD Phoenix. We also learn about different characters such as Kate Diaz, and we get a huge reveal. I won't spoil it if you haven't played the game. Right at the end of the game, which I think definitely helps on the story front. Um, and then we've got the likes of um, oh, and then we've
got
got
1
the
minute.
likes of other characters. Thank you. Other characters such as we've got old returning characters. So we've still got the old boys in the back. We've got Baird, which is I think we'd all say he's a prick, but at heart, but we all love him. We've got the Coltrane. Uh, who's what's not to love about the Coltrane? Coltrane, baby. Yeah, that was a terrible impression. Um, and more importantly, it's just an all good round story, and it's got a little bit of the old, a little bit of the new, and it's an all round perfect story for 4 and 5. It does a lot of things right with it. You can see a lot of reviews. It's up there, and I think it's got a Metacritic score of 87, and it's probably one of the highest Gears of Wars on Metacritic, and it
And
sold
that's
a
time
lot
up.
of units. Awesome.
Okay.
I should also mention when it gets to 1 minute, I'll mention it. Because if you guys are using the stream, it's a little bit behind.
Yeah,
I got about a 7-second delay, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
7,
10
10 to 10 seconds.
So I'll just
About
mention when it gets
7
to a
10
minute.
seconds.
Cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
I accidentally closed my timer. Fuck.
Okay, so can
Hold up.
I just get a quick summary of what Reese's point was there? That was basically because if I'm not mistaken, all you were basically going over is Gears 4 is critically rated better and sold more units.
Basically.
That there was, and there was like a touch in like game content.
Yes. I should have mentioned more of that.
But like
hey,
like the big things was basically hey,
story, Metacritic, and all that other stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
that
it's
was the
basically
facts.
like we got raw facts to say that it has sold more and has been rated better.
Yes.
Okay,
I
that's
mean,
fine.
hey,
I just
we
wanted to
have-
clarify.
Yeah, we have a lot of time for this, so we can take it from different angles. So.
Oh yeah, no, I just wanted to know where, like, because if I need to,
Yeah.
like, I don't want to start going on a tangent about something and then it not completely like have no relation to what he's just said.
Oh yeah, agreed.
So I'm trying to get like to the base points that he made there, and they're like there's the two big ones, so that's fine.
So.
Yeah.
How we started out that last round was well,
Me
I
interjecting.
basically well no, I basically asked Reese how he thought it brought the franchise forward. So Harry, I'll leave this up to you whether you want to follow through with what we originally said of you saying why you think it degraded or went downhill, or you can tackle Reese's points onward. So I'll leave it up to you two.
I'll go for a double whammy in the 5 minutes if I can.
All right,
Ooh,
go for it, man.
cheeky.
You start now.
Okay, nice. All right, so to address Reese's first point, which is about the Metacritic stuff, right? Ratings do not make or break a game unless you're like somebody that doesn't play the game. So this is also common in the film industry as well. Films will be rated like 28 on like Rotten Tomatoes, but the community rates them at like 90. And then there's also films that are rated like 98, which the community are like, nah, that's like a 12. So critic ratings don't balance out in a fair manner because it's normally like a group of people that are super biased about it. So if you look at it in that sense, rating systems are flawed by critics. You have to look at community ratings. And as for the units sold, I understand it. I would have been surprised if Judgment sold more, but you know, it is what it is. You know, this was like one of the big selling points for the Xbox as it like came out. You know, the Xbox One, it was just like, oh, look, Gears 4, Horizon 5. What are you, 4, sorry, what are you gonna do? Like, come on. So I get that, it sold more. But now to Tyler's point, which was about the point we actually were meant to be discussing. I feel like it really destroyed the franchise because it didn't, like, if it had have just been a case of, right, we're gonna play this, but in a new era, that's fine. Like, if you could have the Gears universe and be like, okay, this is now 50 years on from the passing of Marcus Phoenix, right? Your main character. This is 50 years after his death. He's a renowned war hero. He saved the world from the Locust Horde. And you can introduce new threats that way. I feel like continuing on after 3 was a bad idea. Like, trying to be like, it's like 15 years, 20 years after the end of 3. And the big problem is the start, right? You look at Gears 1, 2, 3, Judgment, all of them have something very common in the start, and that is the fast-paced locust fighting action that kicks off the game. You've always got that nice little tutorial to begin with, which is fine, I can live with that. Then after that, it's like, oh shit, E-hole! Go do your thing, boys! I mean, Gears 3 probably did it best. It's like, okay, we're going to take you around. This is our ship. Haha, Dom's got radishes. Haha. And then suddenly, boom, attack on the ship. And it really just kind of kicks you into it. You don't. And what Gears 4 did, in comparison, is rather than having this locust swarm fight, like almost like a fuckfest, if you will, was they went, ha, robots. And that continued for like 3 chapters. I wouldn't have minded. I wouldn't have cared too much if it was just like a couple of acts in the first chapter, or even just the first chapter, or the other way around, sorry, a couple of chapters in the first act. But it goes on for like 3 acts that you're fighting robots rather than the new introduced enemy of the swarm. Like, that's 3 acts, and they still managed to squeeze it in at the end as well. Like, the fucking robots are your actual biggest threat in that game. They are harder to fight than the Locust and Swarm. And it makes no sense that a Gears game, a game about the fight of humanity and this Locust breed, come together and they try to continue on by fighting fucking robots.
1 minute.
Like, I just don't quite understand the sort of process that you get down to that. Which is why I feel like the new era thing would have been a lot better. Because if they had have said, right, same world, same universe, same events, but it's 50 years since Marcus Phoenix has died, we got a new threat. Boom. Hooked. Even if that new threat is a corrupt government using robots. Yeah, it wouldn't quite fit into the Gears sort of genre, but it would work a lot more. And then the final point I'm going to make is they just threw brand new characters at you with very little explanation at the beginning. So they were doing it right to begin with. New characters, new stuff, and then, boom, guess what? It's a continuation from 3. Fucking stupid. And I know that's
time up.
Alright, cool.
So, we're quite deep into the Gears 4 discussion. So, Reese, I think I might pass it back to you, and you can kind of address some of those points, build off of that. It's still round 1. I think we'll move to round 2 when we kind of go more into the Judgment territory or Gears 5, whichever place you guys want to take it.
I can't debate about Gears 5.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't debate. So it's only Gears.
Well,
whichever
whichever next kind of subtopic
cour-
we'll go on to.
Yeah, of course, of
Change it
course.
to round 2 then. So,
Cool.
all you, Reese.
Oh, me. Okay. What I really want to start off with first is thank you so much for that, Harry. I do agree with you. I think the reviewing process is also can be quite critically. It can be judged mainly by the audience. So while you were talking, I managed to get up some we'll go back to Best Critic and the user scores. So with roughly about 1,000 per game, the user score for Judgment was a 5.6, and the user score for 4 was a 7. So just in case, um, just putting it out there, that's happening. Just to let you know. With that in mind, I do agree with you that maybe I'm not saying 4 isn't the best game out there. I do think it's a solid Gears game. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's the best one. As I said it before, there is a racing, as we did that before, and it's not the top one, and it's not the lowest. Um, there is, but I do believe that a continuation of 3 is the best course of action. We've like I said previously, we have these old characters that we do enjoy. We've got Marcus Phoenix, which is cool. His tomatoes from Dom, these previous references from Gears of War 3 to 2 to 1. And then we've got all these this continuation of the evolution of the swarm. And yes, we do have to deal with robots at the beginning, but that's only for like 3 levels basically. Out of, I think the maximum we did like levels were 15. That's what you have to consider. We have 3 levels where at the beginning they were just constant robots. And I do agree with you, it was a slow start. But as we continued on, the swarm became more powerful as they grew in numbers and created more. As we saw the evolution of the swarm. We had creatures that could literally suck, would literally take you up into in themselves, sort of thing. We saw that done to Marcus Phoenix in the game itself. The evolution, we got the interesting story of how maybe we didn't stop the locust, and even to a point where we we had these we even had cool um new story to go with Marcus Phoenix about his wife and everything like that. Even like what happened after Locust Ball, what happened between the 25 years set between 3 and 4. It was really interesting and overall just spot on in my opinion. To top it all off, to be fair, um, we will get into like more of we are talking a lot about the single player at the moment, but of course we've got to talk about the game. I'm going to talk about the gameplay sections. Um, for that, personally, we got tons of new weapons. Honestly, we got like 3 new weapons. We got the one that digs into the head. I'm awful with names, so Harry might explain it a bit better, or I'll just search up while he's talking. But all these amazing new weapons. We've got the amazing new abilities. We can draw in the enemy, stab them when the enemy is like right across from the cover that you are. Um, and all the other stuff. This is culminating in not just changing the overall Gears experience, as many games have done before and failed. Looking at you, Halo 5 Guardians, changing the whole thing. But more importantly, it's improving on what was there, and I think that's what Gears 4 needed to do. Instead of just changing everything and failing at that. Um, but of course, there's going to be different opinions out there and all that other stuff. But I personally believe the gameplay was superior in 4 compared to like the previous Gears, and even like it was much improved more in 5 as well. But we won't talk about that here. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that the gameplay wise. We'll talk about more like multiplayer.
Time's up.
But cool.
Okay, so
Okay.
I think what we're gonna do now. Oh shit! I just opened a window I didn't want to. Hold up.
Very nice.
Technical difficulties.
Oh,
So,
dear.
to get more of a kind of quick fire thing, because at the moment it's 5 minutes and you're both saying quite a lot in those 5 minutes. So,
Yes.
how do you guys feel about some quick fire rounds on more concise, more targeted
Okay.
debate at
So
I
about
agree
a
with you.
minute 30 seconds?
Okay.
Okay.
What I
How
want
do you
to
guys
do,
feel
Tyler, is
about
I
that?
want you to throw the point. You throw the point now. So you will. My suggestion here is I like the whole 1 minute 30 thing, but we cannot give the other either one of us a point.
Yep.
Because I might have a certain view on something, and if Reese then comes in with I'm going to talk about this, and it's completely off brand of what I was going on, I'm now lost in that kind of thought process. So that when that does eventually come up, I have less pad on it.
Yeah.
So if you throw us the topic,
Yep, that sounds good.
give us 15 seconds to kind of understand what the topic is, and then you choose who goes first.
I think, yeah, of course, this is, I want to say this is our first time doing this sort of thing.
This is
So
super
if-
friendly, by the way, guys. If we
Yeah,
get
of
angry
course,
with each
yeah.
other, it's still super friendly.
It's genuinely super friendly, but we're still friends. I'll stab him outside
Yeah.
the corner shop next time.
I mean, really, whoever loses this debate is going to die anyway, so...
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Depends on how you look at it. I'm technically still winning, no matter what happens. I'm the one here with a relationship.
Whoa.
yeah.
Whoa. Just going in there with those straight
Wait, no.
facts.
It's not even a relationship. You're fucking
Those
like,
straight Gears of
engaged
War
as well.
facts. Okay, so...
Alright. First topic, Tyler.
you guys both have
What's our first
differing...
topic?
I guess you guys could say you have differing opinions on the new characters.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I don't think we have differing opinions. I think we both like the new characters.
Yeah, we like. Yeah, I like him.
Okay.
I like the new characters. I just don't like the way they were implemented.
Okay, so why don't you talk about the way they were implemented and the way they kind of impact
Oh,
the
okay.
story for you? So
Okay,
I'll
okay,
start
yeah.
on story slash...
I'll take this one because it'll be better if Reese responds to me on it.
Yeah.
and go.
Okay, so ending Gears of War 3, we get the whole save the world from the Locust, right? That's fine. But then introducing the new characters, very vague introductions, fine. Oh shit, he's the son of Marcus Phoenix. Wrong. Don't do that. Put it in maybe even a different town or something. Don't relate it to the old characters. The old characters now are fucking old and retired. So what I feel like they should have done with their implementation is rather than having the new characters coordinate with the older characters, what they should have done is implemented these characters in such a way that they are members of the same unit, they're still COG, but they are from a different area. Kind of like how the people in New York know their police, but don't know the LA police. You get me? So, rather than having it as COG and that COG, have them two separate COG units fighting separate locations when they discover the swarm, and the road can be implemented in a way as a training ground, testing simulation sort of stuff during the first act. And I feel like that, over everything else, would then press it into being a lot more of a Gears game and a better implementation for the franchise than what they did do, and I can end my time there.
Okay.
Cool.
So I'll leave it up to you, Reese, to counter those points.
Right. Easily. Right. As we know, we've got loads of different interesting story within the characters. For example, Marcus, with the son of Marcus Phoenix, JD, is the whole point of him is trying to get out of his father's shadow. He even left the cult to try to leave it because his whole ideology is that, oh, you're the son of this famous person. He saved us. He helped us. And even his the grandfather who created this thing that defeated the Locust. It's trying to get out of that shadow. He's so entwined with his blood, his relatives. He can't stand his own person. The whole story of him is that he wants to get out of that shadow. He wants to become his own person. He doesn't want his family to bring him back. It's interesting. It's unique, and I enjoyed it. With the other characters, we've got Kate Diaz, a lonely farm. No, that sounds like a porno. We've got this outsider who's trying to make interesting relationships between these two cog people that's coming in, who got outside the cog, and all this other stuff. It's looking at this interesting thing. Kate Diaz is interesting because she's never. Oh, right.
Time's up.
Where is that going?
No
Where
fucking
is
clue
that
of
going?
points. I do genuinely believe that all these characters are interesting in their own way.
I agree with that. I understand the implementation of he's in Marcus's shadow. But there's no need for it. Gears 3 ended on the note that he was done. He wasn't going back. So then to drag him back in, it's pointless.
But it's also about that family mentality. It's
What
this
family
whole...
mentality? Ah, fuck, my son's here.
Well, your son's fucked up. What are you gonna do? You just leave him on the fucking
because
grass, are
the
you?
thing- No, because here's the thing. Because I remember when I was playing through it, the COG don't like Marcus. Yes, he saved them, but he also abandoned them at the same time. So they don't like him, and he resents JD for joining COG. You
And
got
yet-
your facts wrong on it.
And yet, he's also a hero to the people inside the cog. Yes, he's made enemies with this prime minister like lady sort of thing. That everyone else inside the cog sees Marcus Phoenix as a hero.
And a traitor. They all know it.
That's where you're getting it wrong.
But I'm
Yes, we see it's from the perspective of this lady who thinks
no, it's more than
anyone who's not
just her.
her. Sorry.
It's more than just her.
It's not, because we do see in Gears 4 that everyone else doesn't see him as a traitor.
Not as a traitor, but as somebody that abandoned them.
Not
There
really.
was still-
I think
no, no,
everyone
no,
understood.
Here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up a second. There was still fighting to be had, and he walked away from it. And there were a lot of people that resent him for that. That
What
still
fighting?
work in COG.
The Locust were basically dead.
Doesn't stop other nations though. They're more than just a Locust fighting unit. The COG was their military powerhouse. So losing your war hero because they went, nah, I'm out.
The only reason why Marcus kind of left because his wife died, and his wife was the original. Did take over the office after the war had ended, and tried to make peace with other nations. Even though, yes, they did try to attack.
I'm just saying, you got some of your facts wrong there. But the next topic, Tyler, before we continue going into this downward spiral.
No, that was good. I think what we'll do is, say I pick a topic.
That felt more like a debate. That felt more
yeah,
like a debate.
I think what I'll do is I'll pick a topic. I'll give you each roughly a minute 30 to kind of say your general, to just get your opinion of that topic out.
Yeah.
And then we'll just go freestyle.
Argue it, yeah.
Because I think it's it's a lot more
Smoother.
aggressive,
You get a lot more emotion in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
wait till we
Apologies
talk
for
about
telling
Final
you to
Fantasy
shut the fuck
15.
so
yeah,
other.
bet, Reese, bet. Because how many Final Fantasy games have you played? Sorry, so how many have you played?
Hey guys, don't blow our load of content just too early. That's for another time.
Okay,
Yeah, it's another time.
Before we get
Back
into
to
the
Gears.
next point, Tyler, shall we call that round one?
Yep.
Round 1.
Would you guys like to keep discussing 4, or do you want to move on to?
No, actually, I think to move on to Judgment at this point.
Okay.
Alright, you want to move on to Judgment? Okay.
Yeah. I feel like we should
Right, here
have
we
a
go.
2 minute each to say our thoughts on the game.
And then just
Why
fuck
we
each other up.
No, and then you give us a topic. We say our views on that topic to kind of solidify what we meant,
Okay.
and then we go ham at each other.
Okay,
So,
so first we'll
2
be
minutes,
set me up 2
discussing.
minutes.
Just
Yep.
to say why we like it or dislike it, sort of thing, and all that
Yep.
other stuff.
I'll give you. Just let me know when the time is right, Tyler, and I'll show you what I mean.
Okay. So we've got 2 minutes.
Yep.
Harry, you're first, I guess. Go.
Okay. So, the thing with Judgment is it gave us the much-needed prequel to explain where the Locust came from. It wasn't very well written in the first game. We all knew about E-Day. We all knew about E-Day, but not the events that took place during that time period. And Judgment really goes into that. It had really good story writing in it. We got a bunch of interesting characters to kind of see how the old divisions worked, rather than the modern COG. We had the COG Wars. I can't remember what it was called exactly, but we had the actual human versus human war before the Locust appeared, being discussed. Oh, pardon me. We've got all of this interesting background story that can actually be put further, and it actually links into some of the Gears of War 3 content as well, which I think is great. So, pushing on further from Judgment, you get the multiplayer side of it, which I will hands down say had one of the best multiplayers of all time. Just the way it played was amazing. Ultimately, I would say Judgment is an S tier game. No matter what real ranking, I would still put it in S tier because it introduced a bunch of new mechanics. It made it simpler for newer players. Didn't overcomplicate it with your weapon system, but kept the Gears fundamentals that make a Gears game a good Gears game. And that's my time.
Okay. You still had 20 seconds, but
I know, but I if I don't need to take it all, I'm not going.
Yeah, that's
There's no
good.
point in us sitting here for silence for 20 seconds.
Why can't we just do that?
we could.
So I need
Anyway.
to keep this.
Hey, that would have been
that
would have been a good time to play an ad.
Do.
Today we're joined by our sponsors, Raid Shadow Legends. This is the hot new mobile game from
You
around the
wish.
block with over
You
with
wish.
over 5 million downloads.
I think
And
this
200
video is sponsored
champions.
by our Minecraft Let's Play.
What?
If we get sponsored, right, we're getting sponsored by Pepsi. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Actually, in the recording I tried to do last night, the one that fucked up, I did do Pepsi sponsors.
Can we get sponsored by a vape company at some point? Because that's like super
Oh, yeah,
off
of
the wall
course.
chain.
Oh yeah, but they've got to kind of contact us first in that matter.
No, I'll just go to them and be like, fam, I use your vape and I make content. Let's go.
Alright, so
Let's go, bro.
episode 2 of
Alright,
Luscious
Reese.
Lads Debate Hour is going to be who should sponsor
Central.
us.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's let
So,
I go with
Reese.
see some
Mars.
judgment.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Go back to the
2
topic.
minutes.
Yeah. 2 minutes starting from now.
Now.
Cool. What I really wanted to say was that Gears of War Judgment, it does a lot of things wrong. A lot of things wrong. I'm going to start with the multiplayer because I know there's a lot of people in the community agree with me with this. At launch, it only had 4 maps compared to the usual map, which was about 8 to 10 maps. That is despicable numbers. Genuinely stupid. But then we've got, yes, I do agree, it made it more simple for newcomers. But when you've got 4 maps, the National Shotgun was like a pea fucking shooter at points. We've also had like snipers, which were overused and all that other stuff. It was just felt blech. That's the honest thing I can probably say about it. Now, for the story, the meat and grind of why I hate it it misuses characters such as Baird and Coltrane. How can you make a story? How can you even make how can you make the Coltrane boring, man? It's impressive. It really is. Harry's point is that it gave us all these cool, unique backstory to A-Day and all this other stuff. We got that through. It wasn't that interesting. It genuinely wasn't. It had cool moments where you think, oh yeah, that's definitely something you'd see in a cog game, gear game, but nothing else. It wasn't. It felt like a set piece instead of adding to the story. It just was a load of horseshit. In all honesty, it was horseshit. I could go into more, but
And that's time.
Cool.
If you had been any faster, I would have been able to plug Raycon, our next sponsor.
Okay.
Raycon E25s are the brand new. I'll stop there.
All right, Tyler.
So I think what I'll do next is
I asked you to give us a topic, but
yeah.
Can I just go in with a topic real quick?
Regarding what?
Well, one thing he said really annoyed me.
So would you? So what you're saying is you want me to choose multiplayer as your first topic?
Yes.
I actually was gonna start multiplayer as the first topic, but
Okay.
So what I'll do, rather than, I think it would be good to just go into this as a freestyle with 4 minutes.
Okay.
If you guys are all right, because
yeah.
I think I already have a general idea of how you both feel about multiplayer, and this would kind of go through it all quite well. I would also like to say, while, you know, I am kind of a judge, Ashley is also here as a judge, I guess, partially.
Yeah.
The idea of a debate at the end of the day is to try and change at least partially the other's mind about something.
Yeah.
So even though you're throwing things back and forth, try to at least, even if it's something small, try and convince the other person of something.
Okay.
Okay.
You just those 4 minutes ago.
Start.
Okay, Reese, you're just a little pussy that's sad because the Nasher got nerfed and it took skill to use snipers and you weren't good.
Right. If Nashers are supposed to a stable point of the Gears multiplayer.
No. Nashers have always been OP. Pros have said they're OP. The community has said it's OP. And the one game it gets the fucking treatment it deserves, where it's a shotgun and not a cross-map sniper, people complain.
Surprisingly,
like a shotgun.
There you go. The community even speaks for itself. It's not the same. It's not the same when the NASA shotgun isn't.
No.
It doesn't go. It doesn't go cross map.
Would only play Nasher. These are the people that would play Nasher and quick peek corners. I know. I used to be in that. And then when Judgment came out, I had to adapt to a new playstyle. So I got the classic hammer burst and clapped cheeks for days.
And then
because that's the thing. The multiplayer took so much skill because you had to know where the spawn points were. You had to know where people could come from. You had to use your third-person camera accurately. And if you ran around with a Nasher and got in close, you would win. So you had to learn long range, which means snipers became super viable. But you had to have skill. And the multiplayer took skill. And you didn't have it because you couldn't use your Nasher, so you got sad and cried.
I didn't cry. Worst of all, the whole point is of Gears multiplayer, you're in cover most of the time, and when there is a sniper where it can snipe you out of nowhere, that takes it across the fucking map. What's the point?
That's a sniper, Reese. It's a sniper, which you expect.
I'm more expecting that, I don't want something like COD gameplay where you could get
they had glowing on them, so you could see where the sniper was.
Yeah, but you could see most of the opposite side of the map, and people could literally spawn camp you if they really wanted to. That's the annoying part.
That's the same with every Gears game.
No, not
you
really.
You have set spawn.
Random. It's more the fact that it was more annoying in Judgment because you could get sniped.
No, Judgment is one of the few games that had random spawns.
But it's still annoying, okay? The sniper felt a little bit too OP with the Snatcher shotgun.
No. Here's the thing, Reese. Judgment didn't change any stats on the long shot. The long shot was the exact same long shot. All they did was added in 2 new snipers, and they were only spawnable on the map, just like the long shot. So
I'm
you
mainly
had to
talking about like
to get there.
a whole group of snipers. Like I'm not just talking about like the long shot and everything like that. I'm talking about like the group of them.
So 2 of them that got added in, and also did receive nerfs during the multiplayer life cycle.
Yeah, but
and the long shot, which is the same long shot we've had the entire time.
I mainly
if you're on about the
Gears
one
Judgment,
shot, it's a heavy weapon pickup, and you can easily kill somebody that's using it.
For context here, I did only play the multiplayer for the only couple of weeks at launch, sort of thing, and of course.
So you don't actually know what you're chatting.
No, I do know what I'm chatting actually.
No, you don't. Because you played a couple of weeks at launch. You didn't play its lifespan.
What's the point of it if I don't enjoy the multiplayer? If I
Because here's the thing. It's like turning around and being like, "Oh, look, the new COD. Oh, I'm dead. I'm never gonna play COD again."
No,
Well,
because
things will get buffed and nerfed, and I'm gonna keep making this point until the time is out. So you can't get anything else in because we've only got like 10
Yes, I
seconds
can.
left.
Oh.
So here's the thing: your
You
skill
suck.
lacked in judgment, and you weren't happy with it.
No,
And
it's
I
all
don't
the
know what else
fact
to say
that-
to you about that, other than the fact that you're a Nasher main and you
Yes.
cried because they nerfed.
And
your
that's
gun.
time. So I'm gonna add my 2 pennies here.
2 pennies.
I'm gonna say a few things. First off, while I shouldn't judge things yet, good pun.
Yes.
Laugh, please. Laugh
Ha
track.
ha ha ha.
Thank you, Reese. I would. It's difficult. First off, I want to say that the Nasher, Harry, you would say that
Yeah.
the game was patched after it came out, right? Like multiplayer-wise, they did updates,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah. They did.
Would you say I played probably the final version, maybe?
Yeah, you did. You played the very
Okay.
last version with us.
So first off,
I played the first version. Yeah.
So first off, I actually think the Nash is pretty decent in the game. I can't compare it to the previous ones, of course, because I didn't play too much of those.
Yeah, no.
I still think it's a
they-
decent
no, that's
weapon
fair,
in the game,
yeah.
though.
They added a bit more of this added like slightly more range onto it towards the end of its life cycle in the game.
Okay. But that is
'Cause,
something else.
There was a lot of complaints that the Nasher wasn't doing enough, and obviously Nasher mains like Reese were crying to Epic.
Well, that's something
Yes, of
I'd like
course.
to kind of bring up, and why I think Harry maybe has won this argument is because, games change over time, and so, Reese, the sort of game you're thinking of the first 2 weeks of launch, it's probably very different from, the
yeah.
game that I'm used to, because I played on one of the final patches, but also, things change,
Of course.
the community, maybe has an outrage about something, and then...
But you've also got to
things
consider
ch-
the full maps that were at launch and all that other stuff.
I've heard of worse launches. I'll be honest. Not necessarily for Gears, but
Oh yeah,
like-
but this is just about Gears as a whole, sort of thing. You can't.
well, no, because like here's the thing, right? Look at the content that was in that story. Look at all of the classified missions, right?
Mhm.
Multiplayer wasn't their focus on that, and then when it took off, they added in a fuck ton more maps in DLC.
So multiplayer was more of an afterthought with Judgment, and I'm guessing...
Yes.
I clearly
Yes,
sir.
disagree because, as you just said at the beginning, there was a lot more thought going into like the guns and everything like that. They clearly focused more on the multiplayer side.
No. Because all right, here's the thing: with Judgment, what they wanted to do, they wanted to add in like this kind of beforehand sort of situation. So rather than being like, oh look, multiplayer, they were going in with the story-based mindset, so they were adding in guns. Oh, pardon me. They were adding in guns that would have been used prior to the first game. So they had to fit in with what the story was and not the multiplayer. The multiplayer side of weapons is literally just, does this beat this when it shouldn't? Yeah, okay, we kind of need to nerf that.
Before, like, there's a lot of press surrounding like Judgment beforehand, but of course you've got to figure out the whole point of it is that the main focus of Gears Judgment, they told to like the press and everything like that, was that the multiplayer would be more balanced. They quote unquote
Which it
said.
was.
Quote unquote. I disagree, but sure. Of course, they wanted to tell the story of a prequel of Gears of War. So we did get a story of the Gears on what was it? Is the COG as we've said the COG War?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got a little bit of Judgment Day.
E-Day.
E-Day,
Day.
sorry. And all this other stuff. They wanted all this to focus, but again, even they said they wanted to focus on a lot of the maps. They focused a lot of time on because it felt because they felt like
right,
the Gears
just-
needed to
just real
change
quick.
quite a bit on the level design.
Just whilst we're still on the maps,
Yeah.
how detailed and how unsymmetrical were the maps at launch?
They wanted to change things up. That's the whole point.
Exactly.
Was library
So
a
they put
launch
more
map?
time into designing the maps than it's quality over quantity, Reese.
Yeah, but then you compare it to like the campaign, which is very narrow, narrow
Linear.
versus linear, and all this other stuff. But
All the Gears campaigns
they
are
focused
linear.
on. No, I'm not saying that, but it very felt like corridor to corridor, corridor. It didn't feel like you had these open spaces, all this
There
other
was
stuff.
more open spaces
There wasn't because you
in
had more open
Judgment
spaces
than there was in the
two.
first game.
Of
The
course,
only
yeah,
thing
but
about the corridors is that was your like transitions and your start points.
I think I know maybe where Reese is going with this is Gears of War Judgment. It felt more like a kind of there was chapters, but each chapter was kind of broken down into these smaller, not missions, but like subsections. I think he's what he's
they're
getting
not
at.
missions. No. No, I 100% agree that they were missions. But that gave you a sense of purpose. You knew what you were going to do.
it felt a lot more smaller and the whole story felt a lot more smaller and everything like that. But of course, we're still on the multiplayer side.
I actually would like to ask Reese. So
Yes, of course.
you're quite a big Halo guy, you'd say, I'm guessing.
Halo up until Halo 5 Guardians.
Oh, okay. Not Infinite then? Don't like Infinite?
Oh, dude, I love Halo. I want to play it. I want to play it so badly.
Okay. So Harry brought up an interesting point that Judgment is predominantly a single-player game. There is a multiplayer, but you know. So Reese, in comparison, how do you feel about ODST being, which was mostly a single-player game with only this small little bit of multiplayer? And I do know that they shipped a Halo 3 multiplayer disc with it, but if you take ODST as what it is, it basically just has Firefight with, if I remember correctly, one map.
Yeah, one map. This is why I disagree with Harry in this case. I've seen games who focus mainly on single player. Like you said, ODST, we've even got like Far Cry 3 with Blood Dragon, all this other stuff. They focused a lot more onto the single player aspect. ODST was fantastic. With its we're not talking about that, but it was a fantastic. It was going to be a DLC, but they expanded it into its own game.
I did not know
And
Cough, Final Fantasy 15.
Wow.
Shut up. We're not talking about Final Fantasy, but yeah. If you look at like that, ODST was going to be this huge expansion to the Halo 3, and it became its own thing. Gears of War.
Controller died again, Reese.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah, no. I
Plug your controller in if you're not going to touch it.
Oh, yeah, it's getting
You're
bad
wasting AA, man.
now.
Wasting those batteries.
But anyway, yeah, as I was pointing out, it definitely felt like they were focusing on a different type of a multiplayer experience than the actual story aspect of it. I think overall, in my opinion, it felt like Gears Judgment's story was more of an afterthought than anything else.
So,
An afterthought.
why don't we delve into the story? I think I'll give each of you about a minute 30 to just generalize how you feel about the story. I'd say I want each of you to come up with one strong point about the story,
Okay.
and this
Yep.
not just the story, but the single player as a whole.
Yep. Agreed.
And I want you to both come up with a good point and also a bad point, including you, Harry.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. There's bad points.
But try come up with the strongest bad point, the strongest good point.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
So who
We'll
wants to
come
go
up with
first?
different ones.
Rich has probably got the strongest opinion on this, so
Yep.
I'll give you 1 minute 30 seconds.
Cool.
Go.
Of course, if you didn't know me, I play a lot of single player games, so I like playing mainly for the story aspect. But for me, Gears of War has always been more of I really like playing the single player aspects. So in this case, I knew what a Gears of War campaign would be like, and what the cool characters would be, and especially how they would deal with them. So what pisses me off the most, the worst point about Gears of War Judgment was the misuse of the characters. It gave us one of a very good character, which I can't remember, it was Russian. Awful with names. That's it. But it misuses Baird, it misuses Cole, as I mentioned before. It was awful. But I will give Judgment this. The one thing I never suspected they'd do with a Gears of War campaign, add like mini objectives throughout the levels. Well, a lot of them were a bit meh. They weren't too great, or they were alright, but they gave us optional objectives to complete along the way to feel like 100% completion. Like for completionists, it's like a wet dream basically, and that's my time.
I can agree with you there. Actually, I love the objective system in that game.
Yeah,
the classified missions.
I'll give it that.
Missions,
it felt like an evolution, and I think Gears 4
It adds
kind
a
of
lot
missed
to
out on that.
replayability, I feel.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I think
I'm not the one debating you.
No. I fully agree with that.
Okay,
And
so
that was going to be my major point. But I have something else in mind, so it's fine.
okay.
Okay.
I'll hand this over to you now, Harry.
Okay, so the thing that it does poorly is the fluidity of the story. It does kind of feel like it's jumping around bit to bit, and I will agree on that. It does not feel like the Gears story that we're used to with those jumps. But here's the counterpoint, right? We know that Baird and Cole have been through shit together since day fucking one. We know that they've been together since before COG. So, tell me how it's misuse when we have the two, probably, other than Marcus and Dom, obviously, the two most popular characters coming together to overcome what is essentially them getting fucking killed for not listening to orders. Because they didn't. They didn't listen to orders. And yet they still press through no matter what. As the duo, the dynamic duo that we all know and love. It's not misuse of them. It's explaining how they got to where they are. And that's just what we needed. Because there was enough information on the other characters, except for maybe Anya. But we had, like, very limited information on Baird and Cole other than they're basically bum buddies. So this explained where they came from. Fine.
All right.
Cool.
So, I think it's time for set this to 4 minutes.
Cool. Okay. Free for all.
Guys, ladies, gentlemen, younglings,
Oh, fucking hell.
you know what to do. Go.
Yes. Right. I'm gonna counter your point right there and then. How it misused it, because the Cole Train wasn't the Cole Train. He wasn't excitable. He wasn't likable. He was just there. Baird was. I didn't feel like Baird to me. He was just. He was like the guest. You've got that geeky side to him where he knows a lot about stuff. He knew what. And yes, you've got the disobedient side of him. Well, don't I say disobedient, but you know what I mean. Oh, that's my dog. But it's just misuses Baird, and like you said, they are very good characters. How can they make them boring? And all this other stuff. It baffles me.
Okay, right. Here's the thing. Cole, at this point in time, is worried about his potential future. We have just had this giant eruption of a locust. We have no idea what we're dealing with. Cole is concerned for his own life and safety. He's not happy, excitable. He doesn't know what he's dealing with. Nobody would be. Sorry, if some sort of fucking alien presence just appeared here, I doubt you're going to be like, yeah, fucking let's go. You don't know what
Then why
dealing with.
wasn't he like that throughout the other games? What? Like...
Because he knows what he's dealing with. He knows he can tackle that challenge. In Judgment, that is the first inception with them. They don't know what they're dealing with. It is an unidentified life form. You don't know if bullets are going to work. You don't know what will work to kill them. So Cole is taking it carefully, slowly. If you see, whenever you transfer, he is there closing the doors to make sure your rear is safe. He is making sure you are protected. And as for Baird, his fucking neck is out on the line. During the opening parts, he is very concerned he might get excommunicated or even fucking executed for disobeying orders. But when you actually start playing and you start going through the story of how they got to where they are, he is still a bit of a prick. Especially to Paddock. Especially to Paddock. He's not dull and boring. He's not this, like, side guest geek. He's still a prick. But during those important times, he knows that he can't be like that. He knows it's life or death, and that right now the humans have to work together to survive. There is none of this. There's none of this boringness about them. Yes, sure, Cole isn't his happy, excitable Cole Rain, but it's first contact with another life that is trying to fucking kill you.
Yes, but you could say that for the exact same Gears of War 1, 2, and 3. Every time
because they know
these
what they're
locusts
dealing
are
with.
coming towards
They
you,
know that
they
they're
are trying to murder you. Why
They
isn't
know
he
what they're
going,
dealing
whoa?
Because he knows what he's fighting now. He knows the weak points. He knows how they fight. And I don't suppose you've actually realised, but the first time they meet a Corpser, they're like, oh, what the fuck? How about the first time they meet a Brumag? Oh, fuck, how to fight that? You know? Lambent Zerker. Fucking what the hell are we supposed to do? They don't know how to deal with it. But once they do, that's that dealt with, and they know they can just go in, fucking headstrong, and be like, fucking die.
All right, yes, when those moments, I completely understand, but when you're fighting the same enemy from corridor to corridor, we don't have that same excitement going, woohoo! I've just figured out, but it's killed them, surprisingly!
I think you forget, that is E-Day. All of these events take place on E-Day. It's all one
Yes, I completely
day.
understand, yes.
So he's got to be nervous, because at any point, what was his name? Khan? Like the endgame boss?
Yes,
Khan, something like that.
Yes, Korn.
At any point, he can appear and just like there's like terror stories going around. What this fucking man has done to everyone, to units of people,
and
to units of Onyx soldiers. Units. I don't give a fuck if that's time. Okay. Units of Onyx soldiers, right? Units of the fucking highest command, the people that are protecting Loomis, for fuck's sake, and he's taking out platoons of them. You're gonna be concerned. You're not gonna be happy, excitable.
Your point is, yes, they are surprised sort of thing, but the whole point is, I am still excited, and even at the worst of times, I can still be this excitable person, even if it's like I'm not trying to say that, but I can still be the same person from day-to-day basis, no matter what happens. The whole point is, he did not follow his usual sort of self and everything like that.
This is a time before we knew who he was.
You could say
this is before the Coltrane's like major inception happened. Yes, he was already the Coltrane's football star, but
yeah, go on, Tyler.
Sorry, you could say it's tied to confidence, because not everyone, is like they are all of the lives. It's it's the same reason why Spider-Man kind of has the arc that he does. He's this nerdy kid in school.
Of course, I do agree with that, but he had that confidence when he was doing football and all this other stuff.
That's football, not military life. You don't die in football.
Well, it depends if you're playing American football. That's but getting off topic. What the hell is that?
American football?
No, sorry, I was thinking. Dog was barking. But yeah, it you could say that it wasn't his first day in the cog. I remember that.
It wasn't his first day,
No, exactly.
but it was the
if it was
first
his
time they were
first
fighting
day,
Locust.
but then what? It doesn't make sense why he wasn't excited just to. His excitement should have still been there. No offense, the
What?
whole
Wait,
point.
okay, sorry. Are you telling me that if you were fighting giant fucking insects that can wield guns, led
Yes.
by somewhat of a human queen, you're gonna be
Somewhat.
screaming out, "Yeah, let's fucking go, let's kill shit"? No.
Yes, but this is the same
Not on that
bloke
first
in
day.
Gears of War 1 who would still shout, "Whoa! Coltrane here, baby!"
I would like to bring up.
That takes place several years after Judgment.
I would like to bring up how talkative and how Harry is as a person here when he talks to us versus any situation alone when he's just living life.
True,
going to the shops. I think we're getting a bit too much into human psychology here.
It's not even about psychology. It's about the matter of the
Oh, I
first
mean-
inception.
I mean, just the general physics of how humans work. I think hearing.
Yeah, but that's where Reese is misunderstanding him, and he's not understanding.
We both have disagreements about this, but
Sorry, have you studied psychology?
I've done a little bit of psychology, but not much.
I have studied psychology, Reese. I've actually
Okay.
studied it.
Okay.
I haven't studied psychology, but I have read some things on Google about it. So
yes, Google is the helpful.
I think I know a little bit more about, I think I can say I know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
I think I am going to give that one to Harry because I agree with the psychological standpoint of it. I think Reese is missing the point here. Because, people
Okay,
people
here's the
don't
thing.
stay the same over time, they change.
Yeah, people
they,
Yes, but
over
things-
I do agree with you on that. But it's the whole point is yes, it means
he's not
Okay,
always
um,
excitable.
I would like to bring something up actually. Who I know you've seen it, Harry, but Reese, have you seen the movie Saving Private Ryan?
no, I haven't.
So, I mean, have you seen many World War II films?
Yes.
Generally, what happens? Everyone's kind of their usual self. They're happy, they're excited, going out to war, and then as soon as they hit the beach, they are fucked, and they completely change as people. When they really get into the gravity of the situation, when
Of
things
course, I
hit
do
them.
agree with you.
And it can be the
But-
opposite of that. They could be a nervous wreck, and then something unlocks inside them, and they love the thrill of war.
Of course, I do agree with you. But then you've got the likes of Baird who will, who is on this day who cannot understand, who is geeky ass bloke, and how can you explain away that how he turned from a prick, from a total prick, and who can understand the situation, all this other stuff, how he can be misused in a story like Gears of War, which at the end of the day, can't. Of course, if we were in that situation, of course, I completely understand. In that situation, if I wasn't, I would be scared shitless. I think a lot of us would be.
No, sorry, Reese. I think what you were saying earlier means you're going to be Coltrane. You're still going to be you.
Oh yeah. Oh, of course. But I still shoot. I'll still be like a outside. If it's with a team, I'll still be quiet as anything.
Oh yeah, I'll just
I'll have
shoot
social
someone
anxiety.
I'll just shoot someone in the head, and then talk about my Pepsi
Yeah.
sponsor.
Yeah, of course. I do it live streaming,
You'll live stream the war.
Live streaming war.
Oh come on, it hasn't been done, so it might be a good idea.
What, Reese?
Hey,
Maybe
TOS.
not live streams, but
Oh yeah,
how are you going to live stream it? What were you going to do? IRL war.
Hold on, let me go see if that's a
body cam
thing
or
I can
something.
pick.
Hey guys.
Oh yeah, here it is. IRL war on Twitch. Oh, there's 30 people streaming.
Damn.
So do you guys feel like you could talk about the multiplayer anymore? Because you guys
No.
did talk about those two characters quite a lot. Is there any other sides of it you want to tackle?
I'd actually like to move into a hot take that I have.
Okay.
Actually,
see if Reese agrees or not.
have either of you mentioned your true hot takes yet?
That's what I'm about to do.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
not-
we'll do that then.
A really, really juicy hot take.
Okay. So, can I give this? I won't time it because I don't know how long this is going to take.
We don't
So,
need
let's
time
go.
for this. I just want to throw
Yes.
this out there.
Okay.
I actually want to get your opinion on this as well, Tyler.
Okay.
So, Gears of War Ultimate Edition was completely fucking pointless and completely unnecessary in every sense.
You went a bit buzzy there, mate.
Okay. So, Gears of War Ultimate Edition,
That's the locus.
Yeah.
completely fucking pointless and
Yes.
unnecessary in every single sense.
Don't disagree with you.
Why do you think it's unnecessary?
Because, here's the thing, right? The only reason the Ultimate Edition came out is because they hadn't done the full backwards compatibility stuff. And they wanted people to be able to play Gears of War on the new Xbox. What they should have done is waited for the current launch we have now to go, hey guys, we've rebooted the series and do a full reboot, full remaster of each of the games.
Actually, that's where you got it slightly wrong. The reason why they did the Ultimate Edition was not. This was their first proper because at that point they transferred everything from the Epic Games side to the new studio, which is the Coalition, as we know today. That was their first Gears game, and they were. What do you mean? This was the
Not a
exact.
Coalition.
Oh, all right, yeah. But the no matter what, this was their first Gears game, and Microsoft kind of said to them, remake not remake it, but remaster the first one, and that will be your a little bit experience. And
So it's more of a test run.
test, yeah, basically.
And it's pointless. They should have just done 4. They
But
should
you
have
know,
just started working on 4 and gone, hey guys, look, we're trying something new. We've switched developers. Don't hate us. Here's 4.
but clearly that didn't work in your mind because at the end of the day, you didn't
Oh
like
yeah, it
4.
wouldn't have worked. Still wouldn't have worked for me, but I don't see the point of Ultimate Edition.
I
I
also
really
would
don't see
like
it.
to. So to hammer that point in even more, actually, Gears of War Ultimate Edition was released 25th of August 2015. Xbox 360 backwards compatibility was brought out in June of that year.
Yeah, I think Gears of War and Halo were the first ones to get backwards compatibility. Not Halo, sorry, because they had the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, I think Master Chief Collection came out before Ultimate, didn't it?
2014. Yep.
Yeah. So I'd say maybe it's a bit more understandable with Master Chief because they, Guardians didn't come out till 2015, I don't think.
Yep. so
But
they
with
came out the same
Ultimate,
year
it
as
seems even more
Gears.
pointless now because you could have played Gears on. Well, you couldn't have initially, but it wouldn't have been long, is what I'm saying.
I'm pretty sure it came out on June, July-ish, I think. But to be fair, to them, it was a significant graphics upgrade, and a lot of people did enjoy the
Sorry,
freshness
but
of.
I just want to say
the
that
looks.
I really enjoyed laughing because the textures hadn't loaded, and now I can't do that.
True. But yeah, honestly, I do agree with you. It wasn't needed. I only got Gears of War Ultimate Edition through Game Pass. That's the honest answer. I think that's the only time I played it.
Me and my brother bought it because, yeah,
You enjoyed
we'd
Gears
played
before.
through all the Gears games together.
Exactly.
We were
Yep.
actually like co-op buddies on it up until 4.
Did you guys think it was worth it? Like paying full price?
No.
Okay, so I think that's a big kicker here.
All right, my big take is
Like, sure, right now.
Oh, right, yeah.
Hold on, just real quick. Right now, if you have Game Pass, play the Ultimate Edition. Better graphics, it feels more fluid.
Oh yeah.
But if you want a good time, play the original. Just because it looks so much worse, and there's more iframes. There's a few more like minor issues in the game in terms of the Lancer being OP. But otherwise, if you just want to experience the story, play the Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, Reese. What about your hot take?
I'm not the biggest fan of Marcus Phoenix.
Agreed.
He can be quite boring and at
He's
points.
bland. He's
Yeah,
a bland character.
I know a lot of people love him, and
But
at points I don't
A
understand
lot
why.
of people love him because he's the character you play as.
True,
Right?
true.
It's the same as like if you look at Pokemon, more people are more likely to turn around and go in their team, this one's their favorite because it's the starter.
Yeah.
And it's been with them for the longest.
And yet we've got all these amazing characters like Dom. Dom was quite good, and as I keep.
Dom was quite bland
debate-
as well. I would hands down say that the Carmine family is what we're looking for in characters.
I feel so bad for the Carmine family, honestly. They're fucking cursed.
Bacon.
Not all of them.
No, only only the one that's.
I haven't had bacon in 6 months. Take the deal. Good thing I wear a helmet.
Yeah, exactly.
So that didn't work for Anthony though.
Yeah, we see all the Carmine family in all the Gears games. I think even in Judgment. I can't remember. Oh, dear.
Yeah, Anthony was in Judgment,
Oh dear. Yeah, he died.
and I believe, no, Anthony didn't die in Judgment. He dies in the first game.
Oh yeah, shit.
But there's a hint to the Carmine family, definitely. I believe. Like it's been a while since I played Judgment.
Yeah, I think I need to replay it soon. To be fair, I want to do all.
Yes, join the dark side race.
But I want to do all of them. I want to do all of them again, but.
We can have a follow-up debate of our thoughts on that.
Why race is still wrong.
Where I'm going to be right still. Of course, this is all in our personal opinions, of course.
Yeah, this is 100% opinionated.
And
I'm
you
super
can
biased as well.
yeah, he is very biased, like extremely biased.
But so are you.
Yeah, so am I. But
I mean,
still,
when you look at it, right? If you look at the broad spectrum, right? My top games are actually made from the original content, like from the Microsoft stuff. You like the Coalition stuff,
I like the Coalition.
so you
But
know.
But of course, everyone else has their own opinion about the Gears series, and personally, I don't understand how people who didn't like even the Gears Gears of War, because you know, they're all pussies. I just insulted people out there. Okay, brilliant. But of course, we're also we're gonna do some live streams on Gears of War properly.
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah,
Don't see why not.
we'll do Judgment multiplayer and watch you whinge like a bitch.
Oh, fuck you.
Get you to try out the finished version of the game.
Oh, that'll be fun. Yeah, like I said, we've got loads of plans coming in for Gears of War. I think we all agree that Gears of War is a good game series.
Up until 4.
We'll make Harry play 5, and we'll play maybe Judgment.
I'm not touching it.
Multiplayer it. Yes, you are.
I'm not touching 5.
Just install it. It's fine.
Alright, so before we start beating each other up with
I
words...
went to do it, and it took me about 20 minutes just to get to the title screen. So I'm not doing it. That is my experience with Gears 5.
smoking
is a loading
Xboxes.
screen. So.
Don't load.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. So sorry. I did the tutorial, which was still fighting robots. So I was like, "Fuck this," because then I had to wait another 20 minutes to get back to the title screen. So I have got like about an hour's worth of playtime, and all I've done is the tutorial, because every other minute in that is just waiting for stuff to load. So I'm not installing it. I'm not loading. I'm not touching it.
If we reach a certain amount of subscribers on YouTube,
Oh yeah, I mean, Harry will do anything for money.
Yeah.
He really wants that Pepsi and Raid Shadowlands Legends sponsor.
Yeah, Raid Shadow Legends will do anything for you for them sponsors.
I think to kind of close this up, then, unless you guys have anything you want to debate on in particular.
No, I've kind of gone over all my points.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've gone over it.
So to kind of finalize this, I want to hear your guys' thoughts actually on a few things. First off, where you would like the franchise to kind of go from here on out, both what you want and also what you think realistically will happen. And then, and then Harry, I actually want to hear from you.
Okay.
What do you think there's anything they could do which would bring you back to the franchise?
That'd be interesting.
So whoever wants to
Could
go
do
first.
one thing to bring me back. I'll let Reed go first.
Right. Realistically, they're going to continue Gears of War for infinite amount of years because it makes them a lot of money.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah, but like, what are you expecting them to do with it? Like, realistically, what are you expecting that is actually going to happen from them?
What's actually going to happen is that they're going to continue the story.
Oh wow, really?
In Gears of War Infinite,
Yeah. Gears of War Infinite.
the first
I
open
can
world
actually
one.
Gears of War
I
Series X Enhanced Edition.
I could see them doing something like Halo Infinite, like proper, because they started something with Gears of War 5 with like the open world sections, but I could see them doing like with Halo Infinite. They announced that they're going to do like expansions to the story, so they keep adding to it on
This
like
is what
a
happened
monthly
between
basis.
Gears of War 1 and 2. It's just a 3-minute cutscene with like a minor fight, and you pay 20 quid for it.
Pretty
It's
much.
just a quick. It's just a quick time event.
But I could see something doing like that sort of thing, where it's like a continuous
Hey, it's probably still
evolution of the
better than Gears
story.
of War 4.
Right, go fuck yourself. But what I want them to do is actually just finish the entire Gears story. That's personally what.
Echo there.
Oh, yeah, sorry, that was me. I bumped my microphone and it wanted to die.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
So
I want them to be done with the Gears of War story. I want after 6 done, no more, no,
No more games
don't want the
period,
Coalition-
or do you want
no more games period. No,
so not even spin-offs or different stories in the universe?
not really. I'm enjoying Gears Tactics at the moment, but I want the Coalition to do something other than Gears of War. I want them to be a studio other than just Gears of War. I could
other than the predecessors of a decent fucking franchise that ruined it.
I mean, maybe they could follow in. They could maybe follow in Epic's shoes and go make Fortnite 2.
Yeah, they could make a Fortnite 2 if they really wanted to. But honestly, it would be nice for them to be known for something other than Gears of War, because I know that studio is talented. I know that for fucking certain.
Real quick, Reese. On the flip side of what Tyler wants me to kind of answer, is there anything that they could do that would make you leave the franchise?
Yeah, happily. They could genuinely do a Halo 5 Guardians and create because the next game for me is Gears of War 6. So that's already gonna buy it straight away. But if they did something like they just killed characters for no reason, they ruined Kate Diaz's story.
Dom, no, don't drive the truck.
Ash in the background. Maybe they.
I mean, you could just put
ruin-
like some random face and make it like that was like a meme interruption.
Yeah.
Oh
they
yeah,
could
yeah.
If they gave me a shit story, yes, I would leave the series.
All right, now
That's all I'm trying to
get
get
back
at.
in the closet, you fuck.
Right,
sorry, that was.
No.
Don't get me wrong, the cliffhanger that 4 ended on was pretty decent, but it was like the only good part about the game.
No, it wasn't. There were so many good parts, but yes,
Reese, we're done debating.
Yes, okay.
I am actually just stating my opinions now.
I think you guys could probably go for hours if you wanted.
Oh
Yeah, we probably could. But I mean, me and Reese
Yeah.
are also really good friends, and we'd rather not ruin that friendship.
For the sake of
The only
everyone
thing I
that
hate from
plays.
the new campaigns are the endless defend this area bullshit.
Defenders area. Oh yeah. Gears of War 5 was good. I'm just saying it right now. Top game of the Gears of War series. But yeah, Harry, your turn.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So, what do I expect them to do? Like, what in reality they're gonna do? They're gonna continue to fuck up the franchise even more than they already have. Like, I can only assume they did with Gears 5, because I've not actually heard great things about it, other than from Reese, because he's like a little coalition fucking bumboy. So, other than that,
Go
think-
fuck with yourself.
what would I like to see them do? And this also relates into how they can bring me back to the franchise. Do what I suggested they should have done for Gears 4, and just cut the story off and start a new section of the game. Start a new section of the universe. Hell, even if it's like 6,000 years in the future, and we're now living on fucking the planet and we can't pronounce it, you know?
True.
I would like to see them restart
Do you think
the
there's...
whole concept. I mean, they've changed the name. Like, literally, you can just call it Gears and have it unrelated to Gears of War in the same universe.
That's a good point. They missed a great opportunity of a reboot. Well, not a reboot, you know what I mean, a soft kind of...
Also, it was actually called Gears of 4 Race.
Like, all I'm saying is Gears of War, Gears 5.
Gears
sorry,
5 was the first one that didn't have the full title.
that dropped the war, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a truly
So
fantastic
we just have
game
Gears
with a
5.
fantastic
So we go.
story.
Also, I just want to ask Grace, how can you say that 5 is better than 3? In all honesty.
Beginning, middle, and end. I won't give too many spoilers out.
I'm probably not going to fucking play it anyways, I don't care.
Yeah, but there's people who may watch this and then say, "Oh, I don't want to be spoiled."
Us have viewers.
Ha! Viewers, ha! But yeah, it gives actual backstory to Locust, and it's interesting and unique, and it brings back certain characters alongside with it. And it also gives you a choice right at the end about 2 character fates.
There's a branching kind of choose your own ending,
Yeah,
like a good
there
and a
is.
bad end. There, a good and
No,
a
no,
bad,
good. No, there's no good or bad ending. It's just who
but it's
survives.
still like a bit of a choice thing.
Yeah, it's a choice.
Hmm.
And it will continue over to Gear 6.
Yeah, but how? 'Cause
How?
surely, no, because here's the thing, right? For a story, there has to be a true ending and an alternate ending.
You see, it's because they're going to tie it into the next series of Doctor Who.
Right, don't get me
They're
started
just gonna-
on Doctor Who, okay? Don't get me started, okay? I love that series.
But no, right. So, I honestly don't know how anybody can say that the new Coalition stuff is better than 3. I don't see how anybody could rank anything other than like maybe with nostalgic eyes for maybe the first 2 games could rank it higher than 3. 3 is the definitive Gears of War experience. Story, multiplayer, everything. It gave us probably the biggest fan favorite mode and defined what the franchise can do in multiplayer.
But
Because let's
you-
be honest, guys.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, guys. How many people got hooked on Gears? Not for the multiplayer, not for the story, but for Horde mode.
He's got a point. He's got a
What
point. Horde
game-
mode has been
what
a
game
staple.
Story
defined
for
that?
me.
What game defined Horde mode?
Well, it
Three.
introduced it into 2, so
Yes, but
2.
what game defined it as the Horde mode? What game
Not
defined
gonna
it?
lie, Gears 5 Horde mode is
Three.
good.
I'm gonna point it to Gears 5.
3 did it, right? 3 did it properly first. We had Beast mode, which was a really interesting take on it. I love Beast mode. Beast mode is probably my favorite mode.
Yeah, but you could say the same thing about 4. 4 actually did a lot of things to the Horde mode.
They also had loot boxes.
Yes.
Hey,
But it was
didn't,
only-
I mean,
uh,
obviously, how
cos-
else are they gonna get money back? Monetization!
weren't there buyable
Yeah.
skins in Judgment?
There were purchasable skins, yes, but
Hmm.
there was not loot boxes.
True.
There
That's
was
true.
a
Loot boxes are
random
worse.
generation.
Loot
It was
boxes
all
are
of it
much
was
worse.
You
cosmetic,
bought
and
what
I
you
hate
wanted.
using that excuse, but you know. As much as I hate using this excuse, it was just cosmetic.
It doesn't matter. You don't know what you're getting.
True, 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 true.
And I remember looking at it, and it didn't tell you your odds of what the chances were to get.
True,
We
but you
know,
could also look
yeah.
at Siege.
Yeah, but
We're not
you don't
we're not
have to
disputing
buy
that it's
alpha packs.
we're not saying
True.
that it's good in Siege.
You
No,
can't
God, no.
buy alpha packs. That's how they fix that issue. It's a case of you can't buy these. You earn these from playing, and you get given another fucking duplicate.
Yeah,
'Cause you played too
'cause of
much
it-
already.
because of the duplicate system, even then, even without being able to buy them with real money, it's still not a good system. Which I think goes to
But,
show
I mean-
loot boxes in general.
Yeah, loot boxes in
Yeah,
general
I-
are a bad idea.
They're a bad
I don't-
idea unless you remove duplication issues.
No, because right, this is a whole different issue. Or probably this you it but it go if you've got gambling issues, it's just gonna go right. It's in the back of your
You're
mind
probably-
going.
In a place where gambling is more normalized than in a fucking game of FIFA, though.
True, but it's
Yeah,
the
we're
whole
looking
point.
at you, EA.
Oh, EA's disgusting. They really are at points.
Fucking
Uh,
getting sued how many times in the last couple of months?
But we're getting off topic. The whole point of the stream here is that this is Gears of War. This is kind of a love
The
letter
whole
to
point
Gears
of this
War.
part of the stream is we're meant to be calming down and ending it.
Yep.
Exactly.
We've had our
Actually-
debate.
We've been going for an hour and 37 minutes.
Fucking hell.
How do you guys
Yeah,
feel
but
about
the
that?
actual debate, the actual debate bit was only like an hour, though.
Yeah.
Longer than that, about an hour and 20.
Well, no, because we had the intro first. Subtract that out.
It was 3 minutes. 3, 4, 5 minutes. It wasn't too long.
And then exclude all of the minor interruptions here and there, and the bits where we're actually discussing how to further the conversation. We're looking at about an hour's worth of debate. Because I am big brain.
Big brain.
Would you agree that I am big brain, Reese?
At points, yes. At other points, no.
And the,
Well,
I
at points, yes, which
think
means
what
this
he
point
means
here
to
is true.
say-
We are now finished with the debate. Well, thank you all for
Yes.
tuning in.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for watching. This will, of course, being uploaded onto YouTube. Thank you to Tyler over here. Thank you for
Mr. Plunger. Plunger.
Plunger. Yep. And if you
He's not a
enjoyed the
plunger,
content
I swear.
that we create, please click that like button for this one. And if you enjoy just the channel overall, really big help to subscribe to us. Or even if you're on Twitch at the moment, just be a big help to have viewers.
Follow, like, subscribe, everything.
Everything. Yeah, it just helps us out. It really does. But we do this for fun. We're not doing this for any sort of money.
Yeah,
or
we don't
anything
care
like
about
that.
money.
We really don't give a shit. We're gonna use copyrighted music in YouTube
I just
videos.
like
That's
getting
how
annoyed
much we
at
do
Reese.
get shit. Yeah. Oh, great.
No, actually, it's not even like, oh, Reese, you're the easiest. You're the like one of the only people that'll actually fight against my point, like effectively. So it's nice to actually argue with you.
Thank you.
There's too many people that take my word for truth.
Truth. I do not accept this. But of course, yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I think
And
we'll
I'm gonna hand
see
this
you
back over to Tyler to do a proper end off.
Yeah,
I was gonna
great.
say you guys are taking my fucking jobs. Yep.
You're the editor,
This
man.
is Luscious Lads on Twitch. This was the Gears of War debate. This is going up on YouTube. If anyone is watching, please watch. Just recently put out a Minecraft highlights video, so if you're looking for something to watch, you can go watch that. We streamed Minecraft, I think, 2 weeks ago, and we probably will. I'm not sure when you guys are available, but we have other things coming up. Future streams. We do games.
Maybe the next couple of days, if we're all available.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds pretty good.
Minecraft now.
I could do it tomorrow if you want. I'm free tomorrow.
I'm not. It depends
Yeah,
what
yeah,
time.
no, just at
Yeah.
any points, really.
We do games. We have more debates like this.
Do we do games? We do games?
What's a video
Excuse
game?
me.
Really? What's a video game?
Rocket League. That's a video game.
Sorry,
Is
I
it
only play
though?
board games. Monopoly.
It's
Let's go.
rockets and leagues. Is it really
Oh
a
my
game?
God.
feel-
Ash is
It-
talking.
Right, no, think about it. Just real quick, Tyler. Do you want to know the name for Rocket League's predecessor game? Like what Rocket League
Oh,
came
yeah.
after?
Right,
I
what
should
was
do
it?
Research about this.
Okay. So it was shortened down to SARB, but what it stands for is Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket-Powered Battle Cars.
Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.